We finally completed our move. Buying a house is surprisingly bothersome and challenging. Keith and I finally purchased the high-rise condo we've been dreaming of. We used the weekend to move with the help of a moving company. Now we can take our time to unpack without any issues. Living in the high-rise condo of my dreams, I was elated. I am Violet, a 29-year-old female doctor working at a university hospital. I worked hard and finally became a doctor. Perhaps because I spent my student years studying so hard. I rarely had time to play and didn't have many opportunities to meet men. I met my husband Keith 3 years ago, by chance when I went out to eat with a friend. Keith turned out to be a college classmate of my friend, and we ended up sharing a meal together. We quickly grew close, and before long we started dating. Actually, Keith was my first love. Keith works for a major trading company, and despite his youth, he held a manager's position. He was the type to escort me properly, just what I had always wanted. Then we decided to get married, and I was content with a family life that seemed like a picture of happiness. I lost Dad, and with Mom living alone on a pension, I was worried. My sister Emery, who has always been irresponsible, lives with her but has always been a burden to Mom. Always considerate of Mom, Keith would often suggest visiting my childhood home. I deeply loved Keith for that. And there I was, a doctor, juggling the demands of my job with my family life. However, often exhausted, I would fall asleep, and we hadn't been able to have children. Shall we start living in a way that's aimed at getting pregnant? It's tough when we barely have time, and we can't seem to have a kid. What? Living aimed at getting pregnant? Don't overthink it. It's not about just going for it without a plan. We need to time things properly to increase the chances. Yeah. I know that, but... Is there something you're unhappy with? It's not that. I just feel like it's becoming a duty, and I don't like that. You know, I didn't get married just to have children. Yeah, that's true. Then let's not do it. I don't want to do anything that makes you unhappy, so let's just keep it natural. We'll go at our own pace. Keith said this and kindly understood my feelings. Since we had difficulty having children, we spent our time traveling together, shopping, dining out on weekends, and occasionally enjoying afternoon tea, living a free life. During this time, I was contemplating buying a house. After all, I wanted to purchase the high-rise condo of my dreams. We had been saving for a down payment, so I discussed it with Keith. We took our time talking about it, visited the showroom, and finally decided to buy it. And while we were enjoying our fulfilling life in the high-rise condo, I got a message from Emery saying she was coming to visit. She said she had something to talk about. I found myself getting excited. Perhaps Emery was going to announce her marriage? Could it be? Are you here to announce your marriage, Emery? What? You knew? I knew it. I just had this feeling it was definitely that. Congratulations, that's wonderful. Thanks. So, who's the lucky person? When's the wedding? I'm so excited. I've always wanted you to find happiness too. Don't keep me in suspense, tell me more. I got carried away in my excitement. I hadn't imagined that Emery was getting married, and I was overjoyed. Little did I know that tragedy was waiting just around the corner. Then Keith joined the conversation. Why is Violet so over the moon? Seriously, you're getting too excited about someone else's life. It's stupid. You have no idea. What? I'm pregnant. There are complications, but I'm planning to keep the baby. Right, Keith? The parents haven't said anything, but they must be eager to see their grandchild's face soon. When you get married isn't the first step to have children. I wonder how you feel, being newlyweds for years without any kids. Now I can relax. A child is a treasure. Let's go and break the news to my parents. What? What do you mean? What are you saying? This is a joke, right? The reason you guys came to the house every week was for Keith to see me. I was so looking forward to the weekends. We were worried about Mom. That's why we were going, right? That was just a pretext. That's why I got pregnant, because I'm going to marry Keith. I was told something that seemed like a joke, and my heart felt unsettled. And then, I got Emery pregnant. I'll be getting a high-rise apartment too. Understood. Since Keith and Emery ousted us, Mom and I cut ties with Emery, and we made sure she plummeted into hell. I sent Emery and Keith the letter of disownment, divorce papers, and a demand for compensation. Included was an official contract, and the lawyer instructed them to sign and send it back. Emery signed and returned it immediately. Being ignorant of common sense, Emery probably didn't even understand what the documents were when she sent them back. For me, it was fortunate that we didn't have to go through any negotiations or hassles. Then, as usual, I received a message filled with Emery's sarcasm. I sent the documents back to you. With this, you and Keith are complete strangers. I returned the papers quickly, so hurry up with the procedures. If you don't divorce quickly, I can't get married. It's a nuisance. The lawyer is handling that, so it's not a problem. However, I'm incredibly lucky to be with a man who's rapidly climbing the ladder at a company that owns high-rise buildings. A manager at a major trading firm. I'll keep climbing higher. You're stupid. Just because you became a doctor, you got arrogant, and that's why this is happening. I'm busy, so... Oh dear, poor people are always so busy. Even if you're a doctor, a woman doctor at that, it's just not the same. Pitiful, you must be plunging into a life of poverty by now. Well, Keith chose me, so that's the result. Being a woman doctor is meaningless. I'll be relaxing in a high-rise apartment with my baby in my belly. Bye now. Sure enough, Emery seemed to have no understanding of the contents of the documents I had sent. I just wanted the divorce to happen quickly. Emery was just overly excited. She also ridiculed me, a female doctor, without understanding anything. Even though I might not look it, I'm a surgeon, so I actually earn 3 times more than Keith. I thought I'd stay with my mom at my parents' house until my emotional wounds healed. But shamelessly, Emery came back home. I was shocked. After doing all that, I couldn't believe she had the nerve to come back. And in front of Mom, Emery spoke her mind without any restraint. Nope, thought I'd feel settled back at home, but this just won't do. This shabby house, it's unsettling. High-rise apartments are it after all. Living in such a house in this day and age? Violet, you poor thing. What are you doing here? We said we've cut ties with you. I'm contacting the lawyer. No need to raise your voice just because your daughter came home. The second daughter is married but couldn't even produce 1 grandchild. You should be thanking me, shouldn't you? I'm hungry. Make me something. I have no food to make for you. Really? Should you be saying that? You're going to be a grandma to the child I'm carrying, and it's listening inside my belly. It'll surely be cute like Keith. Can't wait. Enough is enough. How dare you come here after all the insensitive things you've done? How brazen can you be? Why don't you think about Violet for a change? Sorry, but it's not my fault. Keith made his choice, and because Violet became arrogant, he chose me over her. He thinks I'm better than such a woman. Maybe you should reflect and change your personality? Who's the insensitive one here? How can you say such things? Violet was happy with Keith. But you seduced him and made him want you. That's something you would do. Don't be rude. Whether I seduced him or whatever I did, it doesn't matter because Keith chose me. It's the fault of the person who got taken. Stop it already. How can you say everything is Violet's fault? The bad one here is all you. Huh? Enough. Just stop it. I'm leaving. Violet, where are you going? Violet? Get out, get out. Stupid woman. What are you? I couldn't stand being there anymore, so I rushed out of the house. Emery's words stabbed my heart over and over again. I hadn't even sorted out my feelings, and she kept contacting me every day. I had reached my limit, and then she had the nerve to show up at my parents' house and say whatever she wanted. Unable to bear the situation, I fled the house and found myself wandering aimlessly, drained of strength. Next thing I knew, I was sitting alone on a park bench crying. Then, a little boy who was playing in the park came over to me. Miss, what's wrong? Are you sad? Eh? Because you're crying, did your mom die? Mom? Yeah, I only cried once when my mom died. It was really sad. But you know, when my mom was healthy, she told me, if you have a sad face, sad things will happen. So she said it's better to smile. Is that so? Miss, if you smile, good things will come. I see. If I smile, good things will happen. Yes, smile like this. With that, the boy gave me a smile. His smile shone with a brightness that could outshine anyone's. At first, I was bewildered to be encouraged by such a little kid, but it somehow warms my heart. Despite being so young and having lost his mom, this boy was staying positive. It made me think, what am I doing dwelling on my problems? And just like that, I was able to get over Keith. The fact that Emery got involved with him was true, and it wasn't just her fault. That's just the kind of man Keith was. Even if this incident hadn't happened, who knows what might have happened later? I no longer had any feelings for Keith. In fact, it might have been for the best that it ended now. Having come to my senses, I decided to go back to my mom. Emery had already gone home, and we didn't meet, but Mom seemed to have been worried and was looking for me. I apologized to my mom and told her about what happened at the park. Then I decided to devote myself to work. For others, for patients. I wanted to do my utmost and save as many lives as I could. That determination resurfaced in me. And then a month passed. Thinking it was the next step, I contacted my lawyer, and I left a message for Emery. Emery, in a panic, called me. What the heck is this about? Don't joke around. I'm not joking. Why should I pay you $4,000? Are you kidding me? Has the doctor gone bad? Turned into a scam artist? This is ridiculous. You're doing this because you hold a grudge against me and Keith. You're the worst. As usual, you try to force things to go your way without understanding common sense. Did you even read the contract properly? Huh? What contract are you talking about? The document package I sent you included the contract, didn't it? That's what the contract says. It's common sense to check what you're signing, isn't it? What about this contract then? The high-rise apartment's owner is me, you know. Sorry, but Keith couldn't buy it under his name. So I bought it under mine, and I've been making the payments. You said you received a high-rise apartment, but it wasn't Keith's to begin with. Huh? You're lying. There's no way you could buy a high-rise apartment. You're just a nominal doctor. Useless. I know it. No matter what you say, it's the truth, and there's nothing you can do about it. I was told to get out by you guys, so I had a contract made. It states payments of $4,000 per month. What? What are you talking about? There's no way I can pay you $4,000. We only have Keith's salary. It's impossible. It's not my concern if you say it's impossible. You signed the contract, so those excuses won't work. That's what contracts are for. You tricked me. How low can you go? Could you not say such unsavory things? I was kicked out of my own home. Keith was taken from me, and on top of that, not getting paid? That's unbelievable, right? Enough already. The high-rise is mine. Is that so? In that case, we will proceed legally. Huh? Legally? You mean to sue me? What are you talking about? Are you insane to go against your own sister? Expect to receive the documentation from my lawyer, and please deal with it. If you do not, I will sue. Oh, and if a month passes, the next payment will be due, so it will go from $4,000 to $8,000. Huh? $8,000? This is bad for my prenatal environment. Such talk. Why is this happening? Just pay right. I'll pay. Don't joke with me. Emery came to realize the reality and found herself in a situation where she could do nothing about it. And then she just hung up the phone. But I decided to just let it go. Then I got a message from Keith. I'll pay the $4,000. Just please don't go to court. If it comes to that, I could lose my job. It was a mistake to leave everything to Emery. The pregnancy was a mistake in the first place. I never wanted to marry Emery. I don't know anything about that. It was all your own doing, wasn't it? But I just couldn't turn down Emery. I didn't want to divorce you, Violet. Enough already. You understand what I went through, right? I don't care about you at all. Pay the $4,000 and get out immediately. Forgive me. Let's start over in the high-rise condo. I'll protect you, Violet. You must be joking. I have no intention of going back. If you don't deal with this quickly, I'll take it to court. Don't ever contact me again. What? Wait for me. Violet, wait. Hey, Violet. Keith had been making ridiculous comments, but I didn't have the slightest bit of feeling left for him. It turned out he had borrowed money from his parents back home and made a transfer of $4,000. And then the two of them moved out of the high-rise condo immediately. Their new place was a room in an old apartment building. Unable to bear living in such a place, they were constantly fighting, apparently telling each other this isn't what they had signed up for. Mom and I discussed it and decided to move into the high-rise condo. On moving day, I went to that park. And there he was, that boy. Ah, miss, you look happy today. You're smiling. Thanks to you, I've gotten better. Thank you so much. You see, today's my last day. I'm moving. I see, but I'm sure we'll meet again. Yeah, if we think we will, we will. That's true. So it's not goodbye, but see you. Yeah, see you. Saying that, I thanked the boy and said goodbye. And then, Mom and I started our life in the high-rise condo, which turned out to be quite comfortable. From now on, I plan to work hard and be good to my mom.